Hello, everyone. My name is Ona, and this is Wealthy Weirdos, the podcast where we talk about how the weirdos, the outcasts, those who think differently and move differently through the world come into their wealthiest timeline doing what they love. So, back when I first went to Brazil, I was about 24. I think I was about 24 years old, so like 9 years ago. And, I've always been kind of a pendulum swinging person. So it's all the way this, or, like I'm just gonna drink and fuck off, or I'm gonna like change my whole life and do a whole spiritual journey. I don't drink anymore. But back then, that's what it was for me. And the only way I knew how to change my life was to get rid of all of my belongings and buy a one-way ticket to Brazil and just go there because I was called there. There's no small incremental shifts for me. So I was 24 years old. And, I'm just gonna play with this paintbrush while while I talk to you guys on this podcast because it just feels good. For those of you watching the video version of this podcast, I'm just painting my face with a paintbrush because it just is very comforting. Um, so that's what I did. I got rid of all my belongings. I saved up $3,000, and bought a one-way ticket to Brazil and said, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'll just be a nomad. I had no plans of returning to the United States. I had some vague ideas about, traveling long term with like work away type programs, maybe getting a work visa somewhere else. Um, Spoiler alert, I did end up coming back to the States, realized I didn't actually want to live a nomadic life, but I spent 4 years in Brazil. And when I got to Brazil, I went to an ayahuasca retreat that like I said, I was called there. Um, I don't know that ayahuasca is for everybody, but it was most definitely for me because I was ridiculously drawn to it. Every time it was before I even knew what it was, somebody would say the word ayahuasca, and I'd be like, "What? Tell me more. I need that. That's for me." And I remember looking up retreats, and I found this retreat. I saw the website, and I was shocked. Jaw was on the floor because the pictures of this place had been vividly in my dream a month prior. Like I went to this place in my dreams. And so, and I wasn't very psychic back then. I certainly wasn't tapped into that on a regular basis back in those days. So for me, it was like magic. I'm like, oh my God, I have to go there, you know? So I go to this place. Definitely was meant to meant for to go there. I can't even imagine my life without it. Um, but I remember my first night drinking ayahuasca. I had this like ridiculous inclination to be in tune with everyone else's journey. And now looking back on that, it's like kind of funny that I do psychic advisement for people, especially for entrepreneurs. I clearly love to get in people's business and tell them what to do. Just kidding. I don't tell people what to do. Not at all. That That's no, I have to be invited. And I have to be explicitly invited. And mostly I feel people's essence and then I help guide them via their highest self. So actually, all the advice that my ego wants to give is not relevant. But anyhow, back then, I still had this urge, right? And so I can see now how underneath it all, it was a sacred desire, right? It was this desire to be the advisor and guide that I would one day become. But also, it was purely ridiculous because there I was, meant to be going on my own journey, meant to be, uh, having an experience, and learning about myself. And the first time I drank ayahuasca, I kept being like, I want to be special. I want to be so special. Like, I want to be one of those people who's just like so freaking powerful that I know what's happening in everyone else's journey. Like, I could just tune in all over the place and I'll know exactly what's happening. Ooh. What am I even talking about? I know, I just wanted to be so fucking cool. And I remember ayahuasca. I have this experience with ayahuasca where I feel like it kind of talks to me. So I remember like having that inclination and ayahuasca just being like, okay, fine. If you want to know what's going on with everybody so badly, why don't you just sit up and open your eyes and look around the room? And so I sat up and I opened my eyes and I looked around the room and it was just a bunch of people laying down. Um, and I realized, oh, this was meant to poke fun at me. How ridiculous. What am I doing? What, like, why? Why? Because the reason I wanted to be so special and so magical and know what was going on in everyone else's journey in the room was just an ego trip. I just wanted to feel special. I just wanted to know that I had value because I didn't know that I had value. And spoiler alert, ayahuasca didn't heal that for me. I mean, it was instrumental, and probably if I were to, when I go back, I'm sure it will continue to aid me in that way. But ultimately, ayahuasca shows you things and it's very powerful, but you have to just still do it. You just have to like go and integrate it and live that way, and you don't really get to skip it. Um, but anyhow, I at the time I didn't know that I had any value, and it's interesting because every time I would go, I would realize more and more just how dense I was, like just how much of what I would become preoccupied with had nothing to do with the thing I was preoccupied with. I mean, just like that example, it's like it wasn't ever about genuinely wanting to know what was going on with other people in the room. It was my own, needing to know that I mattered in some way. And when you go through life fundamentally needing something outside of yourself to tell you that you matter, it distorts everything. Everything is a distortion at that point. And this is something that I've come such a long way with. And I actually think it's still there. There's still a bit of proving energy. There's still this need to to know that value exists within me. And I spent a long time, like once I finally came to the realization that I do have value, I still wanted to kind of ignore that part of my journey. So I'm getting ahead of myself, but let me basically lay out what I'm getting at here with this story and stories that I'll continue to tell on this episode is basically that when you have the distortion that there isn't inherent value, there's a tendency to try and jump ahead. So I think that's why I'm even in my storytelling right now, I'm kind of jumping ahead. I'm just going to trust it. This is what's coming through right now. Hopefully the way it's coming through is going to help somebody. This is all very meta. Because the insight that I'm attempting to share is that this is like a chronic thing I see in our society, in myself and in a lot of other people, where we want to be ahead of where we are because we think we should be ahead of where we are. That there's something inherently wrong with whatever is present now. And because of this, like I said, it causes a lot of distortion and it causes different reactions. So you might like think you're meant to be somewhere you're not, and therefore you'll inflate certain things or downplay certain things because you want to seem like you're further along than you actually are. Or you'll have like inclinations and desires that are not appropriate for the present moment. And this isn't to shame any kind of desire, but it's just that, you're actually missing out on the magic. And that's perfectly illustrated in that ayahuasca story where it's like that desire to tune into everybody else in the room. It's not that the desire itself was wrong, but it was inappropriately placed. It wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right time for me to desire that. Here I was with this incredible gift. I'm there to discover things about myself, and the more I'm willing to look inward, the more I can grow. But I wanted to skip ahead. I wanted to be the version of me who's intuitive and psychic and can help everybody in the room. But the only reason I had an inappropriately timed desire, if you could even call it that, because it's like at the end of the day, none of it's inappropriate because I was meant to be telling this story to you now. I needed to have that experience in order for that to be true. So it was never actually inappropriate. But all of that to say is the only reason it was happening in the first place is because I thought I needed to be further along because I didn't think that where I was at within myself was good enough because nothing about me was fundamentally good enough. And I wasn't even aware that I felt that way. I wasn't even aware that I felt that way. Like, not really, because it was just literally reality. It's like saying you're aware that you, like, it's like you're aware that you are held to the earth via gravity. It's like, sure. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of a better example. You're aware of the feeling of the sky being blue. It's like it just was what it was. Like I didn't think about, oh, I don't have inherent worth, and that's like a weird, thing that I ought to work on. Oh, no, it was just reality. It wasn't something I questioned. So there wasn't a lot of awareness around it. It was just like the sky is blue. Like that's it. I didn't have feelings around that I could identify because it was just reality. It was just my reality, right? So I'm not over here thinking, oh, I want to be ahead of where I am because I don't like where I am or who I am in this moment. And I think that this happens in spirals, in waves for people over and over again throughout their life when you have this type of pattern. I think we all kind of struggle with different things, maybe in different ways, but this is a predominant one. This is one that definitely me and a lot of other people experience on a regular basis, right? So we want to be further along than we are. It also causes people to take other kinds of actions or inaction, as I should also mention. So if you think you're meant to be further along than you are, you tend to get all wonky with the order of execution on a project. So for example, in this one, this version of thinking you're not good enough is actually not what play out, but I see it in my clients all the time, which is procrastination and perfectionism. I do a little bit of that, but I'm actually a very messy action taker, which is why I've had any level of success. I can attribute 98% of any success I've had to the fact that I'm willing to take messy action. So I'm always touting about it because I'm like, this is like basically my only skill, and it's gotten me really far. All of that to say, I have a lot of clients who mirror the opposite of that to me. But what's funny is even in their inaction and perfectionism and procrastination, the root of it is the exact same wound that I experience. And so it's not actually that different because the reason they're perfecting things behind the scenes or procrastinating on certain things. The reason they're getting property and a logo and a website and branding and all of these things before they even really know how they help people because they haven't had a fucking client yet. The reason they do that is because they're not okay with where they are. They think they need to be further along. They think they need to be something they're not. And this becomes so stalling. Like it just really puts a stopper on everything because you'll like spend all this money and you could even get in your head and be like, I'm doing all the right things, or you could I had a friend, oh my God, I have to tell you this. I have a friend who, bless her heart, I remember her giving me a voice note once where I was like asking her about why doesn't she just go out and try things, try things with clients, try things on social media, put herself out there. And she was like, well, I'm making a business card. I've yet to see this business card. I know it exists. I don't know that she's ever given it to anyone. I've not seen her give it to anyone. I've not heard of anyone getting this business card. I've never seen this business card. And yet, when she was talking about this business card, it was like a big deal. Like she had poured so much time and effort and soul into this like beautiful business card. And it's like, that's not where you are. If you can't have a conversation with somebody about what you do and fall flat on your face and like just figure it out, then what does it matter if you have the world's most beautiful business card? Your business is going to change anyhow. Same with my boyfriend. He's like this. It's like, let's make another change on the website. And he has, my God, he could be a web designer. He has the most gorgeous websites. It's like a game of how much time he can spend building the world's most perfect and professional, gorgeous website. And it's like, this is going to change because you haven't worked with a client yet. You haven't advertised it yet. You haven't marketed. You haven't, forget marketing, actually. You haven't just, sat at a bus stop and told the person next to you what you do and then helped them with what you do. So this website is not finished. And it will never be finished until you realize that that's not the point. Because all that's happening right now is you're not okay with where you are. You want to be at that level of the person who has the perfect website. And what's crazy is actually you can take a look at big brands and people who make loads of money and have the things that you have, and their website doesn't even stack up. They might not even have one. Like, or a business card, or like whatever. And all of that just boils down to you're not okay with who you are and what you are right now in the phase of life and business that you're in right now. And I would know because I'm the motherfucking queen of that. I'm the motherfucking queen of being like, oh my God, I'm not it yet. I'm not her yet. I'm not what I'm here to be yet. And the more I live my life that way, the harder I make the journey on myself. It's like I'm being given a gift and like the ayahuasca coming in, ready to help me out. And I'm like, wait, but I'm supposed to be the person who can tune into everybody in the room. Not yet, bitch. Not yet, you're not. That's not you yet. You're here. This is where you are. Be where you are. Be where you are. But that's the thing is it's not even just an inadequacy in ourselves. It's this fear. It's this fear of the inadequacy of the present moment. That somehow this moment could be wrong, could be off, could be inadequate in some way. What the fuck is that? Why do we think that? Why do we think that? And so the years pass and I go to I go to this ayahuasca retreat more than once, many times. And the most recent time, which was actually a while ago at this point, a few years, I had a really impactful journey where I said, ayahuasca, please show me my essence. Like, what am I? What is my essence? Which is hilarious because looking back on that now, because now I know, fast forward a few years, that when I tune into people, what I feel is usually their essence. Like I feel this, like it's like an energy. It's like I feel them physically, and I see their gifts. Like I see their highest. It's really fucking cool. Anyway, so I wanted to feel my essence, and I had the most beautiful experience where I was me, dude. I was, oh, this is me. Oh, this is me. It was so, I can't even begin to explain. It was like I shrugged off my thinking, worrying mind, or whatever that is. I don't actually think in words, so it's hard to describe what my mind is, but it's definitely almost like a gripping, I guess, to reality or to how I think things ought to go. And it was like I was able to shrug that off and place and demote it and like place it somewhere else in my system. And my heart came forward. And I remember feeling sovereign. And it was like I hadn't ever understood the word sovereignty until that moment. It was this power and authority that couldn't be given and couldn't be taken. So no matter how entrenched in illusion I ever was or ever would be, it didn't matter because nothing could dethrone this. It's always been me. It will always be me. And nothing can actually threaten that. And it was just so much freedom and peace and presence and authority. True leadership. I am a leader. Which, of course, once I learned about human design, I was like, oh, yeah. I'm like one of those assholes that's so in love with their human design chart. I'm like, yes, bitch. I'm a projector with a G center and the throat defined with the alpha line. I'm like, yes, alpha. Alpha projector. That's my only defined channel is the channel of the alpha. Like literally, you are here to lead. You are here to lead and you are here to speak. And I was like, yeah, duh. About time somebody noticed. Why didn't anyone ever take me seriously? Anyway, so I'm having this experience, and the whole evening was just this sorting process. It was this sorting process of like, it was like a purification. And I was feeling into all the different things and different energies within my system and sorting out this is me and this is not me. So I would like feel different things in my body and be like, oh, wow, that's not me. Like I have a tendency to rush through everything. Like, I'm always really worried about time. And that when I was experiencing my essence, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely not me. Like there was no question on that one. It was just like, oh yeah, of course that's not you. Like what? That's not your essence. You never rush. You do not. You're just not somebody that rushes. I was like, oh yeah, that feels true. It is true. And yet here I am still rushing from time to time. But anyhow, uh oh my God, there was this other energy too, which honestly I still like maybe need to explore. But there was this really powerful energy of the trickster, of the jester. And what's interesting is I didn't feel like it was me, but I also felt like it was part of me. And now looking back on that, I think that the jester is, you know, an archetype that, well, it is. I think it is. It's an archetype. So it's kind of like you can kind of think of it as like a deity or an energy. that just exists in all of us in some capacity. But I think that archetypes can, be what is the word? I don't know. They could be really well adjusted, let's say, in your spirit and placed correctly, kind of like how my mind was placed in its place. Or they could be possessing you. And this gesture energy that I was feeling was really powerful, but it was misplaced. And in that sense, was sort of not me and was possessing me because it was this like trickster energy that I could feel really strongly within myself that was basically being mean to me. Mean to me. Like I was, shaming myself and turning that inward. So rather than the gesture being this, powerful, subversive energy that is well placed within the royal court to, you know, serve the ruler and, poke fun so as to not let power run away with itself and to keep things, wise and foolish and joyful. Rather than being in that place, it was holding too high of a position. It was holding a kind of a kind of crown in itself and was harassing me. Like, you suck, bitch. That kind of energy, like almost like wanting to play tricks on myself and hurt myself and put myself in situations that hurt me or shamed me in some way. Um, because I didn't think I was good enough. I mean, it all really comes back to that. But it's interesting because, it wasn't totally possessing me. Like this, here's one thing that was definitely true. It was no match for my essence. My essence, my sovereign essence was like, why, yes, that's not me, but we go way back. Like that was the vibe. Like it's all good. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, oh, this is an enemy. So after that experience, I spent a really fucking long time. In fact, I may still be in this, but I spent a really long time trying to recreate it. I was almost shocked that it wore off because I was like, well, this is obviously me. This always has been me, and it always will be me. Nothing can genuinely threaten that. So why is this not my conscious experience? Oh, right, because I haven't integrated it yet. Okay, right, sir. So it wore off, and I just wanted it back. I just wanted to be that again. I'm like, what? No, it's me. It's me. Please let me be her again. Please, please. Come on. Let me be her again. It's me, isn't it? Why can't I? Why? Why? Why can't I be her again? It's me. Come on. It doesn't work that way. So instead, I began to go on my own journey and learn to be where I am. Because even the act of me begging to be that again already contradicts the knowing that it was never really given or taken or threatened to begin with. It's a contradiction. I've forgotten consciously, sure, but begging only reinforces the illusion that it's not already here. And so I've learned to be where I am. And this has been very important in business as well, because of course, I carried all the same self-worth stuff into my business. And like I said, I've come a long way with it. I always say that. I almost say that in like a defensive way. Like, no, guys, I might still have lots of self-worth issues, but I promise you, it was so much worse like a year and a half ago. So you've got to take me seriously because I swear to God I can help you with this. Because look, I came a long way. Like, I'm still trying to prove myself. There's so much proving energy in that. It's like every time I'll like admit for a moment that I still struggle with the self-worth stuff, I'm like, oh, but no, don't worry, because a year and a half ago, I was basically a piece of shit. And now I can make money. So, I'm good, you know? I know how to fucking heal this shit. I mean, I'm still healing. But that's the journey, right? So come on, guys. I mean, look at that bitch a year and a half ago. She couldn't even sell a $40 session. Now she's selling, 10, 20K packages. So she must be fucking doing something right, right, guys, right? I have value, right? Value, value, value. There's value here, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure there's some fucking value here. Yes, bitch, there's value. Shut the fuck up. Of course there's value. I'm still trying to prove it. I'm still trying to prove it. Yeah, okay. There's I've come a long way. I still want to do that. It's like a tick. I'm like, but I need to tell you guys all of the ways in which I've come a long way. I swear to God, I've come a long way. Yes, bitch, we know you've come a long way. Okay, and here we are. And here we are. And what if that was enough? What if that was enough? Because this is always when I see a breakthrough in my clients is when they can exhale for a fucking minute and realize that all of the things that they thought disqualified them don't. They don't. They don't disqualify you. You just have to be okay with where you are and who you're here to help right now. There's always going to be tension between where you are and where you're going, but that's part of the fun. That doesn't mean you're not where you're meant to be, right? And so when it stops being like, well, I need to be this thing first, or I hope they don't find out this, or, oh, what if I always use this example because I just think it's so perfect. I did a session with somebody who is a sales expert, but she's done sales in like other contexts, and she's studied behavior and all these things. So she has all these qualifications, but she's never sold her own like packages that are her personal, but she hasn't done like a personal brand about selling. And so naturally she was scared it wouldn't sell. And here I am talking about being a sales expert, and it doesn't sell. What the fuck do I do? Everybody's gonna know I'm a fucking hypocrite. And I was like, well, if you don't sell, then that's exactly where you need to be because you're gonna learn in real time exactly why this thing didn't sell. Is you've got to have that experience because it is different. The fundamentals are the same, but selling in different contexts might be different, especially because in this context, it's going to trigger your own self-worth stuff. And so it's the perfect place to learn. Perfect place to learn and get like even better at sales. Oh, now you're really an expert. Now you're really figuring it out. It's not a bad thing. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to hide it. And the people who are the most brazen, the most audacious, making the most freaking money, having the time of their fucking lives, those people are owning where they're at. And I'm not saying that they're all like well adjusted and like super happy with themselves. No. But they know how to own where they are and or they know how to like, I don't know, just bullshit, I guess. But see, owning where you are is also what allows you to manifest. this is where it gets like a little nuanced because it's like, yes, act as if, like, be the person who makes the $1 million moves, like, be the version of you that has all the money. That's not the same thing as, you know, pretending to be something you're not. I feel like I just, like, you're probably like, well, what's the difference then? Because those sound like the same fucking thing. And I would say, yeah, it does, doesn't it? But here's how I see it. When you're tapping into the version of you that has something that you don't have, what you're really tapping into is a state of being that you desire. So let's say you want more money, and the version of you that has more money, for me, I'll use myself as an example. The version of me that has more money feels really relaxed into her own timeline. She never rushes. She loves to do her research. She loves to serve her clients, but she doesn't like freak out about like doing enough because she's making plenty of money. So she's happy to just like focus on the work and do her best. And she's very at peace and feels really free. That's a state of being that actually is accessible to me right now. And if I can fully accept who I am right now and what I feel right now and not see that as fundamentally inadequate, if I could drop the idea that I'm fundamentally inadequate in this moment, I can actually be all of those things. I can do my research. I can serve my current clients. I can be at peace. And I can feel whatever is in the way of me feeling that, which is probably me feeling fucking crazy amounts of inadequacy. But then realizing, oh, that's just a sensation too. And I can just hold space for that. And next thing you know, I'm living as if. But that's not the same thing as I'm not good enough right now. $1 million me would be like so much fucking better and cooler and more awesome. Like, that's a very different thing. You've got to understand that nuance because actually, your ability to embody who you're becoming and shift your reality doesn't ever come from rejecting your current reality. It's the exact opposite. It's this radical, radical, full acceptance and embracing of your current reality. It's being so radically okay with the present moment that you can embody exactly who you are and what you desire. You can embody the joy and the peace because you are so radically cool with who you are right now and what is here right now. And you can hold space for the intensity of that. And you still feel all the shitty feelings. You still feel the sadness. You still feel the grief. You still feel the like void. You learn to appreciate it. It doesn't go away. It's not like, oh, and now I'm just like high vibes all the time. No, no. You're just the version of you that is like really fucking cool with feeling that level of intensity. That's what that is. That's what that is. So every time you deny where you are right now and think, oh, I need them to see me in this way. I need my message to be more, I need to be further along. I need to seem like something I'm not. It just exhausts the fuck out of you. It dilutes your power and it just makes things take longer. Honestly, it's not speeding you up, it's actually slowing you down. The more you try to skip ahead from where you are right now, the slower you go. Think of that first ayahuasca story. I could have spent those hours working on myself, learning this kind of, self-worth shit about myself, instead of being like, no, no, I'm meant to be the person who can tune into everyone here. Yes, bitch. Maybe in like 9 years. Maybe it would have been 5 years if you just were surrendered to the moment and where you are right now. And the more you fight that, I still do it. I still fucking do it. I still do it. I'll be like, no, I need to make more sales. Like, I will be more chill after I make more sales because then I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm good. So I need to like rush and make that happen instead of just being where I am right now. and knowing that that's the fucking gold. At which point a sale comes. Or I can run around like a chicken with my head cut off and get a sale a month from now. Choose your adventure. So be where you are, own where you are, be honest. And I always say this to my clients, you're not the best, you're not the worst, you're right where you are. And if you just speak knowing that where you are right now is in fact totally worthy. Money is amoral, you guys. There's no morality to money. It's not like you're not good enough for the money yet. Like, money doesn't give a fuck. Money will go to the shittiest people on the planet. Money will go to talented people. Money will go to stupid people who have no talent. I actually don't think anyone has no talent. We all have our unique talents. Point being, money doesn't give a burk. So, you are definitely worthy of it right now. You're worthy of money right now. You're worthy of helping people right now. You're worthy of all of it, literally right now. And as soon as you realize, oh, yeah, it's okay to be who I am right now. It's okay to sell what I'm selling right now. It's okay to fail. It's okay to be exactly where I am. You start making more money and you start getting better at what you're here to do faster. Faster. Instead of being like, I need to be better first. It's like, how are you going to even get better? That's how people stay stuck for so long, making the same amount of money, doing the same shit. It's because fundamentally they're actually not okay with where they are right now, but then they pretend that they are. They're like, no, I'm good with this. I'm grateful. But they're like, not, it's like not real gratitude. It's just settling because they don't know how to move beyond where they're at. They don't know what to do. So, what if instead you just got real about the fact that you do want to make money and you do want to make people's lives better? And what if right here, right now, right as you are, you're already worthy of that? Flaws and all. What if you fuck up and you still charge someone because you did your damn best? And if they don't get what they paid for, sure, fine, give them a refund. Whatever, I don't care. Just try it. Just do it. Fuck it up. Be your own best client. Do your own best work on yourself and then do it on other people and go for it. Hold them to a high standard. Say, this is the type of transformation I want to facilitate. This is the type of art I want to sell. This is the thing I really want to do. And then just do it. And you'll get better along the way. But if you're like, no, I'm just like not a good enough artist yet, or I'm not a good enough whatever yet, and like I need to fucking, no, like, how are you going to get better? Do it now. Do it now. You're good enough. You're good enough. You're good enough. It's just that you want to skip ahead. You want to get perfect behind the scenes and then make your big dramatic debut, and suddenly everything will be different and you will succeed or fail, and that will be the end. And there's no such thing. That's all made up. That's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. And the longer you cling to that illusion, the further away your dreams become. Because you will most definitely fail and you will most definitely make a fool of yourself and you will most definitely have dissatisfied customers and you will most definitely trigger people and you will most definitely fuck something up royally. So, when are you just going to be okay with that? When are you just going to be okay with being exactly where you are and knowing that you're still worthy? That way we can get down to the business of actually getting better along the way. All right, Wealthy Weirdos, thanks for tuning in. Don't know why I'm doing an accent. I think it's because I was watching British television. All right, y'all. Cheerio, and see you next time.